Here's a list of Chelsea players I believe we will sell in the summer. Now this is a long list of players, so make sure you watch to the end because I would love your thoughts and opinions. Kicking things off, we have this absolute fraud, Robert Sanchez. He needs to leave our club immediately. This guy is nowhere near Chelsea standard. He was Brighton's third choice goalkeeper when we picked him up. He's been absolutely abysmal last season when he was put on the bench by Petrovic, and this season he's been in and out of Chelsea's #1 position. Maresca seems to really like him. He's got the most errors leading to goals in the top 5 European leagues. He needs to go, and I will personally drive him to whatever club buys him. Next up, we have Benoit Badiashile. This guy is not Chelsea standards. I made this video a year ago, near enough to the day, and he was on my list of players to sell last summer, and somehow he still plays for Chelsea. This guy is atrocious. Now, I'll be honest, I've publicly not been his biggest fan. I've given him credit where he's due and he's performed well, but I've been on his back a lot because he's not up to standard. When we first signed Badiashile, the first 7 or 8 games, he looked like a Rolls-Royce defender. Admittedly, he looked class. Then he got injured and he's never been the same. He's had mistakes in him and I just don't think he's good enough. I will say he has had some good performances this season, especially coming off the bench, but overall, we just need to move him on. Next up, we have Axel Disasi, another player, in my opinion, who is not good enough to play for Chelsea. He has too many mistakes in him. He's very, very inconsistent. He did have a pocket full of good games last season, granted. This season, he's made more errors than normal, and I will say that since he's been at Villa, he has been playing good football, so that may be something to say about Chelsea Football Club and the systems we play rather than the player. However, I would happily offload Disasi to Villa or another club if they're willing to come grab him. Next up on the list is Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Now, no one actually knows why we bought this player. The original thoughts were he played under Enzo Maresca for that Leicester side that won the championship. He was Championship Player of the Year, and he was going to help our current squad embed in Enzo Maresca's system. And that is not what has happened at all. He's barely played any minutes. When he has played, he's been average at best, and he's clearly not Chelsea quality. I have given him credit where it's due. He did score that goal in the last Conference League game, which ended up sending us through. I'm grateful for that, but his overall performances are just not good enough. Next up, we have Carney Chukwuemeka. Now, personally, I wouldn't want to sell him this summer, but I have a feeling that Chelsea are going to try and move him on just to try and make as much money as possible. Currently, he is at Dortmund playing okay on loan. Dortmund have said they don't want to trigger the €40 million clause at the end of the season, so it looks like he will be coming back to Chelsea. Now, I think he's a fantastic player. He has struggled with a lot of injuries, back-to-back injuries, and struggled to get into the Chelsea first team, but every time we've seen him play, he's got so much ability. But I do feel like Chelsea are going to move him on this summer. Next up, we have João Felix. Now, this one hurts a little because I really do like João Felix as a player. I think he's class. However, his end product needs to improve massively. But in terms of watching a player pick a ball up, take it around a few players and transition the ball forward, I think he is fantastic at doing this. However, every club he goes to, he never seems to be happy, he never seems to find his form, and we now know that he was a make-weight in the Conor Gallagher deal last summer with Atletico Madrid. So I have a feeling that Maresca didn't give him minutes because he didn't find a way of fitting him into the Chelsea squad. He's not happy. He's gone to Milan. Milan have even said already, we don't want to activate the buyout clause at the end of the season. Chelsea, you can have him back. And I can see us trying to move him on. Next up is Leslie Ugochukwu. This is another player that I don't want Chelsea to get rid of in the summer, but I can see them selling. Purely because I just don't think that there is a pathway into the Chelsea first team, with the likes of Andre Santos coming back off a loan at the end of the season and just signing Darius Asugo. I just don't see how Ugochukwu fits into that midfield rotation. We have seen him play some good football in a Chelsea shirt and show glimpses of how good he could be as that 6. Now, we did loan him to Southampton, and the first half of the season, he wasn't even getting minutes there, so I can see why Chelsea would look to offload him if the price is right. And last but not least, we have Kepa Arrizabalaga. How this guy is still on Chelsea's books absolutely baffles me. Now, we did loan him out to Bournemouth this season, and he has played well for Bournemouth in spells this season, so hopefully Bournemouth can buy him off us in the summer, and I'm praying that that is what happens, because I don't want to see him in between the sticks at Chelsea ever again, and we're paying massive wages for this guy who's just running down his contract. So that's the list of Chelsea players that I believe we will sell this summer. Do you agree with this list? Have I missed any players out? How much money do you think we can generate if we did sell these players this summer? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you are new around here, make sure you hit that follow button.